Abnormal Andy, and Phantom Dark Dave. The Screaming Skull Podcast.
Welcome to the Screaming Skull Podcast, a place where horror fans can feel at home. And my name is Abnormal Andy, and I'm just one of your hosts tonight. And joining me, as always, is my co-host, Phantom Dark Dave. Dave, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Andy. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm ready to talk about some horror movies.
Yeah, especially horror movies from the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like some of our favorites right there. I just feel like it's been a while since we talked about horror movies, but we got right off the heels of talking about Leprechaun, and we were thinking, we were kind of joking around about Rumpelstiltskin last episode, talking about, man, we got to do it sometime, and I was just like, hey, let's just make the next episode Rumpelstiltskin, because it kind of fits in with the whole fantasy horror thing anyway. So there we go. We got our next movie. Boom. So that's what we're going to be talking about. That's our main event. But first, we're going to be doing some horror news.
Horror News.
All right, Andy, so as you know, there hasn't been a whole bunch of horror movies in theater this year. There's been a few, but there hasn't been many things to kind of get me to go to the theater yet. I almost did, and one trailer kind of got me interested, and it's for a movie that just came out not too long ago called The Woman in the Yard. Have you seen the trailer for this?
I have, yeah. It looks interesting.
It does look interesting, and, I'm not the kind of person to judge a book by its cover, but when you get a lot of these supernatural horror movies that look like they're just made to do jump scares, I'm usually sitting on the back burner for it. I'll like avoid it until it's streaming for free with ads, and then I'll watch it. But something about this particular trailer was just worked for me. I don't know what it is, but I'm talking to Julie and I'm like, I think we need to go see this movie. It's from the director of The Orphan, The House of Wax, and The Shallows, and I happen to like all three of those movies. And it's about a mysterious woman who repeatedly appears in a family's front yard, often delivering chilling warnings and unsettling messages, leaving them to question her identity, motives, and potential danger that she might pose. And that's just a really long, drawn-out way of saying this creepy bitch is in these people's yard and she's going to do something. And I don't know, man. It looks pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah, it looks interesting. And yeah, not quite sure if it's like a ghost movie or what exactly we're dealing with here. But it looks interesting. Even it's funny you brought this up because even one of my friends at work that's not really like a huge horror person, but he does like horror movies, but he even brought up this movie. He saw an ad for it, I guess, or something. And so he was kind of wanting to go see it sometime. So, I think it's one of those that's kind of like getting people's attention. Maybe, actually people that aren't necessarily horror fans are kind of interested in this one, it looks like.
Yeah, for sure. And I like the setting of it because it's just like a small family and in their house they got a little bit of land. It's like the perfect place to do something like this. It gives me those Children of the Corn meets like Babadook vibes or something. I was feeling it, man. So if I see it, I'll let you know.
Okay. Well, I did get a glowing review from Mad Wolf from Hope and George.
Yeah?
So,
oh, man.
Yeah.
I slept on that. I need to check that out.
Yeah. Yeah, they posted something on Facebook, I think it was, and Hope was talking about the movie. So
I was too busy on MySpace. My bad.
Yeah. Let's see. You want me to jump in, or?
Yeah.
All right. So, typically Scream Queens, they're like the ones in front of the camera, right?
Yeah.
So there's a couple of women. I mean, I guess we'll definitely consider one of them a Scream Queen, and the other one we could pass. So Scout Taylor Compton,
yep,
who we know from Rob Zombie's Halloween, and Danielle Harris, definite Scream Queen. They are both co-directing a new horror movie. It's called Last Chance Motel. And so I didn't know this. So they have a podcast called Talk Scary to Me. I didn't realize that. That's cool.
Well, if you breathe, you have a podcast. That's just kind of how it goes nowadays.
Yeah, look at us.
Hey.
So they said, okay, so they will not only star as co-leads in Last Chance Motel, but they are also co-created the story and co-directed the upcoming feature film project. So it's being developed under Talk Scary Productions and Hillen Entertainment, and it's said to be a pulse-pounding psychological thriller with slasher elements. Okay. It's also one that promises to deliver a fresh, blood-soaked addition to modern horror. It is also set to pay homage to classic slashers while injecting a modern, psychological twist. Okay, they got my attention. It says the cast for the film includes Shane West. He was in A Walk to Remember in Salem. And also Heather Langenkamp, which everybody knows, Nightmare on Elm Street fame. And Monica Keena from Freddy vs. Jason. Sierra McCormick from The Vast of Night, which I've heard of that movie, haven't seen it yet. And also Zachary Ruzin from Deadly Debutantes. So the story of Last Chance Motel follows a newlywed couple whose dream wedding spirals into a bloody nightmare when they uncover that their secluded venue, a desolate motel deep in the Nevada desert, is run by a relentless, bloodthirsty family with dark secrets revealing that one's that. So let me start over. A desolate motel deep in the Nevada desert is run by a relentless, bloodthirsty family with dark secrets revealing that one bride's future may not be all that it was promised to be. They said, "We've always wanted to create something that speaks to horror fans in a way that's both nostalgic and fresh," Taylor Compton said in a statement. She says, "Danielle and I have talked about this for so long. We wanted to be more than just scream queens. This film is the first step in carving out our own space in horror filmmaking." And Harris added, "This project is deeply personal to us. It's our love letter to horror, gritty, unrelenting, and absolutely terrifying. We want to create films that feel like the ones I grew up on, the kind that stay with you long after the credits roll. This is just the beginning of what we plan to build together." So yeah, so they were talking about this on the latest episode of Talk Scary to Me, which is their podcast. And so that's kind of interesting. What do you think, Dave?
I don't know, man. I mean, I like everybody that's involved. I like that they're making movies together and doing podcasts together. They seem really close, and what's up, Andy? We're close. So that's kind of cool. We should make a movie. I always say it. But
for sure, man.
I like Scout Taylor Compton. She was also in, remember the 8 Films to Die For when they did those for a few seasons? In one of the first ones, they had a movie called Wicked Little Things that she was in. And this was right around the first Rob Zombie Halloween time frame. She's a good actress. I really like it. And, of course, it's always great to see Danielle Harris. I mean, she was great in Halloween, obviously, but the Hatchet movies, she's really good in those, too. So, yeah, it would be cool to see what they could do. They obviously have a lot of experience working in horror films, and so they can bring a lot of their own personal flares and touches to it. They talk a big game. I mean, they really put it out there with a lot of fancy words and big promises. I mean, for a movie to stay with me long after it's over, you're telling me it's going to be gritty. You're describing it, and it kind of sounds like a Texas Chainsaw Bates Motel Ready or Not type thing. And so, I mean, I'm there for it, but, I'll wait till I see the trailer. We'll see what's up.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer will kind of give you the vibe of the movie, kind of what it's going to really be like. And, you never know. I mean, hopefully it turns out to be good. Hopefully this is kind of the start of some great things that we see from them.
Hey, you want to know something cool? You mentioned that Shane West is in this movie. He was also in Gotham.
Okay.
He played Bane.
Bane, ooh, cool.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to get you to watch that show. Just like somehow I got you to watch Rumpelstiltskin, you're going to end up watching Gotham.
Yeah, I'll have to see if it's streaming anywhere.
Being that it was a Fox property, it usually was on Hulu, but yeah, they don't have their own movie streaming app or anything like that, so yeah.
Ooh, I got Hulu, so I can watch it.
Oh, no excuse then. But it sounds like you're excited for the movie, yeah?
Yeah, man, it just caught my attention. I think the big names attached to it, that's always something that kind of gets your attention.
It's great to see Heather Langenkamp again.
Yeah, for sure. So I know she does a lot of like horror conventions, so it's good to kind of see her, working in film again.
Oh, for sure. And I know she had a lot to do with like special effects for a while too. She either works for a company or owns a company, one of the two. But that's always cool because I mean that's right there at the forefront of making movies as well.
Yeah, I think it's her husband that is the special effects guy, so she may have created the company or something, but I think he's the one that actually does the special effects.
Sweet. Man, that's a lot like Wes Craven's New Nightmare, if you think about it, because in that movie, same
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. And I think that's what they were riffing on or something. I don't know for sure. But
All right.
yeah.
All right, so we're talking about upcoming movies, and I want to tell you about some movies that are coming to home, Andy. Got two of them that are brand new on 4K, and I know you've seen both of them because you and I have had discussions about both of them. One of them we've even recorded a podcast on, and I'll start with that one. Dude, it's been like probably 7 years, but Sorority House Massacre is now in 4K.
Sorority House Massacre. I'm going to have to try to think about that one.
That's the,
Man.
I call it Driller Killer, but it's not the movie, The Driller Killer, but it's the one where the killer has the really long spiral thing, holds it between the legs.
Oh, I thought that was Slumber Party Massacre.
Oh, shit. Is that Slumber Party Massacre? I think I just messed that. You might have called me out on that. What the fuck is Sorority House Massacre about? What's really funny is I remember Sorority House Massacre 2, but I don't remember 1.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I should have did my homework. Oh, man.
That's all right.
Huh.
So, anyway, Sorority House Massacre is coming out on getting a physical media release.
Yeah, but now I don't care. Where's the Slumber Party Massacre 4K?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, well, awesome. The other one, though, is I know is a movie that you like. It's one that I like, and it's Reanimator.
Oh, yeah, Jeffrey Combs.
Yep, Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton, directed by the late, great Stuart Gordon. And, of course, it rips off of H.P. Lovecraft. Would you call it a zombie movie? I mean, because they do reanimate the dead, right? So.
Yep, that's kind of that fits the definition, yeah.
Man, I remember the first time I saw that movie, it was pretty psycho because I had no idea just how far the movie was going to go, not only for the story, but the amazing practical effects.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty wild movie. Yeah, it has some great special effects. It's definitely one up there that's it's a classic for sure.
Back to you.
All right. So I saw a cool thing that Pluto TV, the app that you can get for your TV, your phone, or whatever. So they are having a halfway to Halloween celebration. So April 30th is actually the halfway to Halloween point of the year. And Pluto TV has announced a whole month of creepy crawly entertainment.
Ooh.
The new lineup is delightfully titled April Ghouls. So that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So it says, what can fans expect to see in this one-of-a-kind lineup? Pluto TV is dropping over 25 horror titles for genre fans to enjoy. These include the entire Urban Legend franchise, Paranormal Activity 1 through 4, and the cult classic Idle Hands. It says the list features some of the most iconic films from the 80s to now. Let's see here. And the best thing of all, Pluto TV is free of charge. And they offer you two options. You can do their on-demand service, which allows you to pick what you want to watch, or you can watch their live TV option, which you can just kind of turn it on and see what it's on each channel. There's like several channels. It's like having cable all over again.
Yeah, I actually watch Pluto every single day.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah, it is amazing the amount of content that they have to offer, and all being free. And sure, you got to sit through ads, but if you're kind of used to it, it's no big deal. They're not exceptionally long or anything. And in fact, some of them play the same ads over, and you end up getting some favorite commercials.
Yeah, okay. But actually, they have a list of... So I guess they're just kind of releasing a bunch of horror films for April, like on that streaming service. So they have the 30 Days a Night, 2 movies from that franchise. I guess, is that a franchise? I don't know. Anyway, the 30 Days a Night, the original, and then the sequel, Dark Days. Also have Bram Stoker's Dracula, Deliver Us from Evil, which is a really cool movie. The Evil Dead, 1983. That's great. Fright Night, Grace the Possession, Idle Hands, Oculus, Only Lovers Left Alive, Paranormal 1 through 4, Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, Pet, and then Pet Cemetery 2, Quarantine, The Ring 2, and Rings, Silent Hill, Skinwalkers, and the Urban Legend movies, and The Last Wolf. I guess it's that Jack Nicholson werewolf movie.
Interesting.
So,
that's a pretty cool lineup.
Yeah, so, I think they're just kind of... I don't know if they're just releasing this for the month of April and they're going to go away at the end of April. Who knows? But I saw that. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, a lot of those would stream for free anyway on various apps, so it's really cool that they can kind of get them in one collective like that and try to get people to watch Pluto for the whole month.
Yeah, kind of a little nod to horror fans, so you got to appreciate that.
That's so cool, man, because I've never thought of that, April 30th being like the halfway mark to Halloween. I'm sure screamers out there, some people are already kind of, they might even celebrate that day for all we know, but that just sounds like a new thing I want to start. You know what I mean? Like, okay, now we're halfway towards Halloween. It's time to get your ass in gear.
Well, it's perfect for me because my birthday's at the end of April, so it's perfect.
Oh, well, I'm going to chime in with that, too, is Julie and my anniversary is always towards the end of April, too. So,
oh, nice. Okay.
It's all coming together. There's some good things to be said about the end of April.
There is.
You know what they are? It's the beginning of It's Gonna Be May. I had to.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy, I want to tell you something else, buddy. I was pretty excited about reading this, and it's not the fact that it made me feel really old, but one of my all-time favorite stories by Stephen King is Carrie, and it is celebrating its 50th year anniversary.
Wow.
Isn't that...
I didn't realize it was that old.
Exactly, man. Like, holy crap. Have you read that book?
I have, actually, yeah.
I have too, man. Yes, obviously, if it's one of my favorites, it's by the cover. But love the movie, love the book as well. And that was one of the easiest reads I've ever had for a Stephen King book. It may help that I'd kind of like seen the movie before, so I had this just kind of expectation in my head, like a flow. But then as I read in the book, all the extra nuggets you get, because you can kind of go all out with descriptions in the book, and then the subtle differences that there was, it was a good surprise. But yeah, man, I mean, we all know Stephen King's Carrie is pretty much what launched his career, and it's crazy to think that was 50 years ago.
Yeah, that was actually his first novel that he released, and he basically threw it in the trash while he's writing it, or after he wrote it, because he didn't think it was any good, and his wife Tabitha actually dug it out of the trash and said, no, you need to release this, or get this published, and he did. So, I mean, so good on her. I think maybe without that novel, maybe he wouldn't have got a start. Who knows?
I wonder if she's kicking herself in the ass because she could have dug it out of the trash and rewrote the name to Tabitha King and submitted it as her own work. I mean, the story is about a teenage girl. She could just be like, I wrote it from experience.
That's true. I think she's written a novel, hasn't she, or do you know?
Man, I feel like I've heard that too, but I can tell you I've never read it.
I mean, she could just be like, hey, Steve, just write a little something for me and put my name on it.
What if it's the other way? What if she's like his ghostwriter?
Oh,
she's like, I'm your number one fan. A little bit of Misery action.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, it could be. You never know.
It just debunked the Stephen King theory and probably made some people mad all in the same time. That's awesome. I can't wait to get into some Stephen King movies in the future. We're definitely going to have to do that.
Oh, yeah, man, for sure. All right, that's the end of the horror news, so let's just jump right into our main event.
The main event.
Through the ages, a myth is told of an evil creature that feeds on the souls of children.
No, not my baby!
And the only way to destroy him
Kill the little monster!
is to call out his name.
Rumpelstiltskin. You know my name. Rumpelstiltskin!
But what was once a fairy tale has now come true. Transformed by an ancient spell, he has come from the past.
The hell are you?
To bring his curse upon the present. And now he must steal a newborn child.
Where's the baby?
That his evil may live forever.
fairy tale.
Yeah, so like I said, we have been joking about this movie for a while now, for a couple episodes now. It keeps kind of coming up in horror news, and we keep talking about it. So, like, man, let's just go ahead and do this next episode. It kind of fits in with Leprechaun, Wishmaster, Warlock. It's kind of like the same fantasy horror vibe, and that is Rumpelstiltskin from 1995. And actually, this is the same director, Mark Jones, as Leprechaun. So, do you think that this had a similar feel as Leprechaun?
I think it does. It's funny because I've talked to a few different people who have seen this movie, and I've gotten both sides of the coin, where some people like Leprechaun more and some people like Rumpelstiltskin more. And I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. So far, you and I are the only two people who said they liked Rumpelstiltskin more.
I can see like Leprechaun definitely has well, actually this has more money behind it, right?
It does,
Leprechaun?
ironically, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, just looking at Leprechaun, it almost seems like it would have more money attached to it, but it doesn't. So that's okay. So
I think Leprechaun just seems to be a more polished film, where this one, I was shocked to even find out that Rumpelstiltskin went to theater, because this felt like a straight-to-TV or straight-to-video movie.
Oh, yeah, I could definitely see this on the Sci-Fi Channel or something like that. But yeah, it definitely had that direct-to-video feel.
That's right, Kick.
So
he's been watching it too.
Yeah. Let's see. Talking about, so like I said, we have Mark Jones, which we talked about him plenty on the last episode. He directed this, the same as Leprechaun.
He did write it too. He was one of the main writers on it.
I noticed that Charles Bernstein did the music.
Yes, Mr. Nightmare on Elm Street. I feel like ever since I became... Yeah, that's who he is. Ever since I became aware of him, his name's been popping up everywhere. Like, once I associated him to the Nightmare on Elm Street theme, every time I'm watching a horror movie, I pay attention to all the credits and stuff, but I've been seeing his name more often than not.
He also composed the score for The Entity, 1982, and also Cujo, 1983. So that's
another Stephen
cool.
King plug. Have you seen The Entity? That is a rough movie.
No, I've never seen it. Never really. I kind of know what it's about.
And it is about that. It totally is. And I was like, oh, geez, okay.
Yeah.
You leave the insidious mom alone.
Oh, that's right. It's Barbara
Hershey,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't really recognize too many faces in this one. You got one face I did recognize was Hildy, played by Alice Beasley, and she was in that the old TV show Moonlighting from back in the 80s with Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd, I think is her name. Or let's see here. Sybil Shepherd. Yeah, that's it. And so that's really what
You're telling me there's two cool people named Sybil out there?
There are.
Oh,
yeah.
my.
Well,
I have one person I definitely, I couldn't say I recognized him, but I knew that voice right away. And of course, that's the title character, Rumpelstiltskin, played by Max in this. He's Rom from Star Trek DS9, and that just makes my heart so happy, dude.
Oh, cool. So he's in Star Trek. I didn't realize
Oh, yeah,
that.
he's a big player in Deep Space Nine, and he's such a likable, lovable character. He's a good guy. So seeing him in the villain role in this is a really cool change of pace, but his voice is just exact. Like, you can close your eyes and know when that guy's talking.
Yeah, so I was looking down through the cast, and also Mark Holton is also in this movie.
Yeah, he was.
I didn't even recognize him.
Yeah, that's because he's on screen for about 6 seconds in the very beginning of the movie.
Okay, so for people that don't know, he was also in Leprechaun. He played, crap, I forget. I'm drawing a blank on his name already.
The dude who needs his brain fixed.
Yeah, it's like Ozzy. Yeah, Ozzy. That's
yeah.
his. And so he was in this movie too, so that's pretty cool.
You would think that being in Leprechaun, he might have had a bigger role in this movie.
That's true.
Because it's almost a cameo, really. It's so small. That's what she said.
But that's really about the only, as far as the cast and crew, that's really all I have down as anybody recognizable. Yeah, so this is so we have another movie that, and this kind of fits in with stuff like Warlock, and it kind of starts off back in back in time, like, so it's like somewhere in Europe, like 1400s or something like that. That's what it says.
Yeah.
And so, of course, Rumpelstiltskin, he's getting chased by the angry villagers and stuff. And so we get he kind of shows off his powers a little bit, kind of like how Leprechaun does at the beginning of that movie. But his look, we get to see him right away. What did you think of Rumpelstiltskin's look? Do you think he looks pretty scary?
Yeah, I think it's menacing enough to work.
Yeah, I think so. Like he could almost pass for like a normal person, but there's just something kind of off. Which
I think he's modeled after Quasimodo from Hunchback, and that totally shows.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that especially the way he walks kind of hunched over, because he's actually he's not
short. No,
yeah.
he's average height dude, and it was his idea actually to walk kind of like bow-legged, hunched over or whatever, just to give him that more opposing, shorter stature. It works.
But yeah, so we see the villagers, they get him cornered. This is where we get a little bit of gore here. The one guy kind of confronts him, and he just he grabs him and holding him up in the air and plucks his eyeball out.
That was Mark Holton who got his eye pulled out.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like I said, 6 seconds, man.
Yeah, but
cool effect though. Like right away, you're getting some practical.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, and of course, and they even set him on fire. So I mean, he gets some fire effects here too.
And then correct me if I'm wrong, but geez, we've had a few movies lately where somebody gets their eyes pulled out.
That's true. I think that must be a Mark Jones thing.
Maybe,
because kind of like how some directors like to show off certain other things. Mark Jones likes to show eyeballs. I don't know.
There you go.
But so we see the village. There's a witch.
Yeah, it's like a gypsy witch or something.
Gypsy witch, and it's not. This is unlike Warlock. She's not the one being punished. She's actually kind of the one coming to save the day. And she knows Rumpelstiltskin's name. It's just she says his name 3 times, and he turns into a rock, or she casts a spell on him or something. I can't remember now.
It's a combination of both. Now, let me ask you a question. Did you have any history with Rumpelstiltskin? Were you already familiar with the story of Rumpelstiltskin and growing up as a kid?
So I knew that it had something to do with his name. You had to guess his name. If you could guess his name, then it's something. And isn't there a cartoon, Mr. It's like a Mr. Mixel Pick or something like that. It's a weird name, and if you could say his name, then you defeated him. But it was like a cartoon character.
That actually sounds oddly familiar. I don't have any frame of reference to it. I know I've never seen it, but I've heard somebody talk about it.
Yeah, it was in some cartoon, superhero cartoon.
Yeah,
anyway.
Isn't it his name backwards or something?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Okay,
yeah.
So that's the only connection you have with Rumpelstiltskin?
Yeah, I just knew kind of the general fairy tale. You had it, the person was trying to guess his name, and if he could guess his name, then he would give them a reward or something like that.
So when I was in first grade, I had a little audio cassette player, and I only had 3 cassette tapes, unless I had blank ones I was making, which I was trying. I used to record the radio, but one of them was a Here Comes Winter story. One of them was the Cool as Ice soundtrack, and the other was a Rumpelstiltskin story. So, being the only tapes I had, I used to listen to that thing on rotation all the time. And so I think that gave me some sort of nostalgic connection to Rumpelstiltskin. So then when I found out there was a horror movie version of it, it kind of all came together. But yeah, I've always known the idea of it's he turns straw into gold, and he steals your firstborn child.
Yeah. That's kind of frightening,
It's also a whole bunch of bullshit. I mean, it's kind of a whack story, dude.
Yeah.
What?
But so he gets turned into a little rock and thrown into the ocean.
Looks like a little gnome.
And we're kind of well, that's the end of him. But then the
credits roll. It's over.
Yeah. But then as things go, people are gonna find stuff. They find a rock, they're gonna collect it or whatever. But fast forward to present day Los Angeles, which I'm okay, how does the rock get from Europe to Los Angeles? But anyway, it does. They don't really explain it. It's fine, but
probably through UPS.
We don't really know anything about where the rock's at this point. We're in LA. We hear this sweet '90s hip hop.
Yeah,
and we can see this is kind of cool. It starts off, we see our cop buddies here in the cruiser. They're just driving along on duty. And it seems like these two guys have a good relationship. They're partners on the beat. And
It's giving me Spiral vibes.
Okay,
Which you would know because you haven't watched it.
Well, that kind of makes me want to watch it a little
There you
bit more.
go.
'Cause
Everything I do, I do it for you.
Oh, okay. Now we're just
Back to the 90s.
yeah. But this is pretty shocking though, because right off the bat, we have these two cop buddies, and everything seems good in their life. The one guy, he's getting ready to Russell, he's getting ready to have a baby, and then they make a stop at a gas station or something. I forget what it was, but
They're making donut jokes, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if it was donut time.
oh, that's right, yeah. And so they're just hanging out in the parking lot, and then this lady gets mugged, and so the Russell, he's kind of of course that's what their job is, to stop stuff like that. So he pulls out his gun, or does he pull out his gun first? I can't remember, but he tells the guy to freeze, and the mugger has the gun and starts shooting Russell, and tries to run off, but then Russell ends up shooting him, and and then Russell's dead. We find out that Russell has been killed in this gunfight. And I was wondering, where's his partner at? Was his partner still in the car just hanging out?
No, his partner was inside the shop.
Okay.
I mean, naturally he should have been out a lot quicker, but it wasn't in the script, But it's a pretty crazy scene because there's a lot of slow motion sequences. I got to be honest, my first time watch with this, I was kind of shocked because I thought these were going to be some of our main characters, or at least one of the two. I wasn't sure which one. And to have this kind of circumstance in the street where you have the carjacker literally pulling a gun out on the cop pulls his gun out, they're gonna have this duel, but then instantly the cop is getting shot up on the block, man. It's practical swibs, the blood's flying out of him, and then Russell the cop wants to shoot the mugger, but he doesn't because he sees there's an infant in the child, so he doesn't want to fire a gun in that direction. And great but terrible because it allows him to get shot. But right before he dies, like you said, he does shoot the mugger in what has to be the greatest one-shot kill of all time. He hits him in the back of the head when the guy was running. I was surprised it didn't knock him out of his shoes.
Yeah, he definitely got the final shot off there, and it was...
Oh, and you know what the worst part was, Andy? Is he was on the phone with his wife.
Yeah, that's true.
She hears the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. So then, it kind of fast forwards a little bit farther along, and the baby's been born. Russell's baby's been born, and his wife is hanging out. Yeah, of course she's sad because we find out Russell's died, and she's at his graveside, and then we kind of meet Hildy, her friend. Her friend, Hildy seems pretty cool, and Hildy wants to kind of take her out. That she wants them to go eat some junk food.
Yep.
And go to a weird antique store. I'm like, man, this is great. This is
great friend.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy, when you come down here, I can take you to a place to eat, and I can show you some pretty weird antique shops.
All right. Yeah, that sounds great. What did you think about this talk show they were watching? I thought that was kind of funny. It's why are they watching this talk show on their TV in the kitchen?
I think it was a perfect representation of all the crazy shit that was on in the 90s. It was definitely a Jerry Springer type show.
I know, right? Yeah.
A little more vulgar, if you can imagine.
Yeah.
But the talk show host on this, we don't know anything about him, but you also will never forget him.
Yeah, and that's something about, the talk shows back then, man. They were just crazy, man. You just don't have anything like that anymore, I feel like. They were pretty exploitative, but just crazy.
They were also
craziness,
entertaining back then.
Yeah, for sure. So... so I think that was kind of just a sign of the times right there, seeing that talk show on the TV.
So, as you know, they go to this antique shop. What did you think of this? Because I know I could spend hours inside stores like this, but there's a nice collection of junk.
Yeah, man, but it was kind of weird. The store was kind of in this back alley, and it's are we sure we're just in the right place? Kind of thing.
Doesn't she even say we're not open? That's right.
Yeah, the shop owner, she's eating stuff out of a can. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. Probably an unborn child. Ooh.
Oh, it looked like cat food or something. I don't know, but anyway, but she sees these women walking in, and her
name's Matilda.
Matilda, yeah, that's right, and. But I think she recognizes that these ladies might be wanting to buy something, so she lets them go ahead and look around. And of course, man, what's our main lady's name?
Shelley?
I forget. Shelley, yeah. She keys right in on this stone, the Rumpelstiltskin stone, and
Out of all the things in the antique shop, she finds the one thing that's hazardous to her and her baby's health.
right, and she wants it, but then Matilda's trying to talk to her. No, you don't want that one. It's
I
bad,
didn't think about it, but do you think Matilda knew what the item was and the fact that Shelley had a child? She's like, yeah, no, not for you.
Well, yeah, because as we see later on, we find out more about Matilda. She does show back up later on in the movie, and I'm like, okay, so she's supposed to be kind of like a descendant to this witch that originally made him into the stone or something like that. I don't know. But
you'd think she'd have it like locked up, not for sale.
yeah, she wouldn't just have it on a shelf that anybody could just look at and say, hey,
She falling on tough times, man.
But yeah, so Shelley, she buys this rock. She's like, I'm buying it. I don't care. And she puts it on the fireplace right next to the picture of her dead husband. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And
No
so I
ashes,
kind of,
just an 8x10.
yeah. So like, I was wondering, okay, so she kind of wishes, that she like wishes that he was back, right? And
Right.
she
It's
starts
like
crying.
she wishes that Russell could have met their son, Johnny.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the whole deal with Rumpelstiltskin is like, the only way that he can be freed from his little rock prison is if somebody, like, if tears fall on the rock, heartfelt tears, and somebody wishes for something, I guess, or...
Yeah, and, I mean, that has to be oddly specific for that to work, but this whole movie is the first Gypsy Wish's fault, because she should have put him away for 1,000,000 years, not 1,000 years.
Oh, that's right. It was just for 1,000 years, yeah.
Right, which it couldn't even have been if it was like the 1400s, and it'd be 15. I mean, so I guess he's been locked up for a long time, but man.
Yeah. And so I was wondering, like, okay, so we know that that's his kind of unlocking Rumpelstiltskin. He's going to come back. And I was wondering, is he going to look like Russell, or is he going to be like
Right.
himself? And of course, yeah, sure enough, we don't really know it's Rumpelstiltskin, but Russell's back all of a sudden, and
Yeah, and we get a little bit of like Red Shoe Diaries action.
Yep, and that's like, okay, this is kind of weird, but whatever. And then so Russell, she wakes up the next morning, and Russell's taking a shower, and she starts talking to him. She opens up the shower door, and it's Rumpelstiltskin. He like switched back to his true form.
Yeah.
And this is interesting. Like, she actually like kicks him in the groin, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely get the Leprechaun vibes at this point, because up until here he's kind of been this menacing figure, but then now the like Freddy Krueger one-liners start.
Yeah, I definitely see some of that.
It's a horror comedy.
But she really puts up a fight. I mean, she like takes a kitchen knife and just, stabs him right in the head with it. And
Yeah, man, it's pretty awesome to watch him have to pull that blade out of his skull.
I mean, she's really trying, but she just can't kill him, can't get rid of him.
No, well, he's mythological, man.
His voice sounded odd. I'm trying to remember. His voice almost sounded like a comedian or something like that, like Rumpelstiltskin's, but I can't remember. I can't quite place who it was. I don't know, but anyway.
The voice of Rumpelstiltskin?
Yeah, it almost sounded like a comedian, but it wasn't quite. I don't know, but yeah, I couldn't really place it. But
Okay, it just sounded like the normal actor to me.
yeah.
Hey, maybe
okay.
you've seen him in something.
Yeah, maybe.
Not Star Trek, obviously.
No, not that.
This is a pretty crazy scene, though, man, because, we saw what we saw in the beginning with a little bit of the effects and whatnot, with Mark Holton's eye coming out and everything. And then right away in this scene, when he gets the knife stabbed into his head, again, I mean, just a really healthy mix of like a cutaway scene, but also still giving you some of that practical. I was really impressed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely have some decent special effects in this movie. But I thought it was interesting that they know the legend of Rumpelstiltskin. I guess just like we do, I guess it's just kind of common knowledge.
Yeah, I guess so. And Rumpelstiltskin is like an old school German tale. I think that's where it derives from, is from Germany. But yeah, at one point, this happens, and Rumpelstiltskin, of course, leaves. Police come over. Hilda, whatever. Hilda comes over and comforts her. It's the next day, And so it's decided that Shelly, our main character, and her son, Little Johnny, are going to go stay with, Hilda and everything. Hildy. I'm going to keep fucking up and calling her Hilda. Is Hildy short for Hilda? I mean, seriously, what is Hildy?
Yeah, I don't know. I had a dog named Hildy when I was a kid.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, well.
But, yeah, I don't know what it's short for.
So, Andy, this is the scene. It's the next night. Everything seems to be going good. Then we have, who is the lady that's staying over there? Was she like her friend who's a psychiatrist or something? She definitely was a doctor of some kind.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Hildy knew her. She was a psychiatrist, and I think.
And she's the one that brings the book out and talks about the legend of Rumpelstiltskin. And this was a scene that irritated me. Now, I don't have too much of a beef with it, but my God, you want to talk about like exposition, and sometimes some things don't need to be said. Bro, this is the scene whenever they're sitting there and they're kind of dumbfounded that, like, wow, this is what the Rumpelstiltskin had said or whatever. And I shit you not, Hildy, see, I got it right. Hildy looks over and she's like, it was a miller's daughter. Your last name is Miller. Bro, I like narfed the fuck out. I was like, okay, we did not need that line, dude.
I heard that too. I was like, okay, here we go. But,
but it's great. What can I say?
Yeah, they got to kind of tie it together somehow.
But this does give us a really good jump scare whenever Rumpelstiltskin kind of bursts through the wall. And, dude, he kills Hildy. I was shocked.
Yeah, just like
a familiar death.
Another neck snap, which kind of what we see in Leprechaun. We see that. But yeah, so we see that Rumpelstiltskin, he tracked her down. She can't really like run away from him, apparently.
But so she can drive away from him.
Yeah, except for somehow his arm comes off. Oh, it's like because he's hanging on to the car, right? And she's driving away.
Yeah,
and he falls.
At one point, Hildy mentions to us that, okay, tomorrow you're going to go stay at my parents' house or grandparents' house, whatever, in Bakersville. And so she knows to go to, I guess she already knew the house because she already starts driving to Bakersville in this scene. And this is whenever the Rumpelstiltskin character gets hit by the car and leaves his arm on there and everything.
And we and he shows her his middle finger. So
that's right. Hey, that happened in Leprechaun 4.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yep.
But Andy, Rumpelstiltskin does not rollerblade. He does not ride a skateboard. He rides something else.
Yeah, this biker comes, stops there at the stop sign, and Rumpelstiltskin's like, man, it's a nice bike, and
he goes, I want your steed.
Oh yeah, he's like, I want your steed. That's right, yeah. And the biker's not really having any of it, and
hell no, he pulls out that butterfly knife.
Yeah. He pulls that. That's like so 80s, like having the butterfly knife like that. Or like
Did you ever have one? Don't lie to me.
No, I never had a butterfly knife. I had one of those switchblades that was actually a comb,
Oh, like no way. You 1950s greaser. That's hilarious. I actually had a switchblade. I got it from Europe. I think they were illegal here. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I've always heard that they're illegal, but I don't know.
And then what he does is he grabs that biker like by the head and then throws him off screen. And I can't remember, but I feel like we get like a Wilhelm scream, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think we get that a couple of times in this movie.
Yeah, that's always a good time. George, we're going to keep plugging them. He's a big fan of that from Hope and George. He loves the Wilhelm scream. I'm pretty sure that dude makes notes every time it gets used. Yeah,
I mean it's because it's really recognizable. You can hear it's like
it goes all the way back to the Western days, man. That's where it derived from.
Okay.
If you remember, go YouTube like first Wilhelm scream. It's in a Western. It's pretty awesome.
So then we get see Rumpelstiltskin has got himself a motorcycle now and he's cruising along, right? Well,
yep.
Then Shelly, she runs over a fire hydrant and water starts spraying everywhere on the road and of course, Rumpelstiltskin, he's not used to driving a motorcycle, so he slips and
wipes the fuck out.
Wipes out, yeah. And so this is when we have another vehicle stops to help Rumpelstiltskin. This is a big semi-truck.
It's like, what else can Rumpelstiltskin drive? I have an idea. Let's go with the biggest thing possible.
Yeah, it was a big old black old semi-truck, and this really gave me like Terminator 2 vibes,
Yep.
When he's driving the semi-truck and chasing after them in the semi, I thought that was pretty cool.
I think that's one thing that I really like about Mark Jones is that he may not make the best movies. He's probably not going to win any awards, but you can see that the guy likes movies and he just likes to homage things that he likes.
Yeah, he's having fun with it, paying homage to stuff that came before. So yeah, I mean it's cool, man. I mean this really adds a lot of fun to the movie for me.
Yeah, and the truck driver, he gets beheaded. We don't see the head get cut off, but we do see a little bit of the aftermath. It looked good.
Yeah, the head was rolling down the street. Yeah,
and then the Rumpelstiltskin reaches down and takes his cigar.
Yeah.
So he's a smoker now too.
Yep.
And I think this is all happening throughout the night. And so here we are, the sun comes up and everything, and we find out that Shelly's car has broke down. And so now her and Johnny are kind of stranded on this desert road. And then, Andy, it'd be really cool if some, asshole host from a TV show would drive by and give her a ride.
Yeah, that's funny. So we get the guy, Max is his name, is the talk
professional
show,
asshole. Yep.
Yep. He pulls over and he's on his way to the lake or something. He's got like a boat, and he pulls over to, I guess, help her out. And
well, yeah, because she's in her underwear.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He makes that comment. He's like, "Man, ladies sure look good in their underwear."
Yeah. And yes, this is how they kind of get connected with them, how they kind of hook up in the movie. And so then finally, but then Rumpelstiltskin still finds her, and they have a nice little chase scene here with them in the car and Rumpelstiltskin in the semi truck chasing after him.
Have you ever seen Steven Spielberg's Duel?
No, I have not.
I've told you about that movie, and now I'm telling you again. After seeing Rumpelstiltskin, dude, it is amazing how much homage he took from that movie in this scene. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that movie out.
Now, Duel's obviously a better movie, craft-wise, yeah. But yeah, and this is cool because they have the right personalities. Like, even though Max is kind of this a-hole or whatever, he's also a big-time pushover, and since she is a very powerful woman, she's able to kind of command him to do things, and they kind of make for a really good pair.
Yeah, that kind of works. I mean, it's kind of the odd couple, but yeah. And as the movie goes along, you kind of see that Max isn't such a bad guy after all.
And, dude, I know this is the first time for Rumpelstiltskin that we know to drive an 18-wheeler, but he is amazing at this thing because Max has this truck that they're driving, and they're going through all kinds of places that an 18-wheeler should not be able to go, and that Rumpelstiltskin is on their tail the whole time, making jumps, going down cliffs and valleys, everything, until eventually it doesn't work out no more.
Yeah, it goes off. It kind of goes off the road, and it does. I forget. Does it blow up right away, or does it blow up here in a minute?
I think it blows up in a minute, and it's engulfed in flames and whatnot, which gives us a pretty cool aesthetic when we go to check on Rumpelstiltskin, and he's charred like a grill.
Yeah, because there's a police officer or a highway patroller that pulls over to help out Max and Shelly, and that's when Rumpelstiltskin comes out, or he's in the cab of the truck, and the highway patrol opens up the door, and there's Rumpelstiltskin. He comes out and he pulls his own head off. Yeah, and he's a
little bit of Reanimator if you think about it.
Yeah, and he pushes his head towards the cop and bites the cop's neck or whatever, and so I guess that kills the cop. I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely kills the cop, and then they get out of there. And they, correct me if I'm wrong, they go hide out in an abandoned diner, right?
Yeah, they find this old diner. They just they break in or whatever and just hang out there for a little while. And
I was like, is this the diner from Leprechaun?
Oh yeah, it kind of looks like that a little bit.
Could be.
But then they kind of find out that straw is another one of Rumpelstiltskin's weaknesses because
it's his kryptonite.
It's his kryptonite, yeah. And they actually find this little doll made out of straw, and they put it with the baby.
Looks like a Wicker Man thing, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, there looks some voodoo. Like, you really gonna give that to your child?
Yeah.
Hey, if you found a voodoo doll, would you take it?
No, probably not.
Yeah. What if it looked like you? Would you keep it? That way no one can get their hands on it, or would you test it out? Like, try to cut the hair on it and see if you wake up bald?
That's a good idea. Yeah, if I saw one,
that's a bad idea.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mess with it, but I would if it did look like me, I would take it so nobody could do anything to it, and I would just kind of keep it safe,
Yeah.
But not too long after this, so the police bust in, right, and they arrest him,
Right, because they think they killed the cop.
Yeah. And so they take him back to the police station, put him in a jail cell, but they have the baby in the police station there.
You gotta love these small towns.
Yeah, and so this is where we get another. I feel like another homage to Terminator, where we get a police station like massacre shootout kind of thing or whatever.
It's also giving me some vibes of like Malignant.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And
I mean, Rumpelstiltskin, he has a field day here. He just like kills like all the cops in here, and I think we even get like, because there's a female police officer and he throws her out the window, and I think I think we get a female Wilhelm scream, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh really? I missed that.
Yeah, because I think there's a female version of that scream too, which I think
no
Mike
way.
is.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so this scene was pretty action packed. And I think this is kind of like one of the reasons maybe why I liked this over Leprechauns. There's just more action in this movie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so then they escape. So don't they like?
They talk to the sheriff right before the sheriff dies,
and he lets him out. He gives him the key, and they take his gun. And I think they like, don't they shoot Rumpelstiltskin or?
Oh, he definitely gets shot, and like a handful of times. And I think this is the part with the sheriff. Like he goes to shoot, he shoots all the bullets, and then shoots blanks, and then Rumpelstiltskin takes it and shoots it, and a bullet comes out, and he's like, "Ha, magic."
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. But then they leave the police station, and there's a car there for them to take. So that yellow car, it looked like it was a convertible car, and so they steal it. I can't remember if the keys were just in it or if they hotwired it, but they steal it. But the funny thing is, it was Matilda's car.
Yeah, I was
that,
like,
or she was just sleeping in there.
That's kind of a strange turn of events. So it's Matilda, the lady from the antique store. It's her car. And so they just happen to run into her. They steal her car.
Well, the reason that she's there is because they had like one phone call, and Shelley used her one phone call to call Matilda. But why was she sleeping outside in a car? Was she just waiting for them to get out, or what?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not really sure on that. But
story writes itself.
Yeah, apparently. And so we kind of feel a little bit of a glimmer of hope here. It's like, okay, Matilda's going to be able to work some of her magic to finally defeat Rumpelstiltskin. But it doesn't quite work out that way, because Rumpelstiltskin is able to kind of see from afar. He kind of sees Matilda in the car, and he's actually
like psychically is able to kill her instead.
Yeah, because he kind of starts choking her like through the vision. Right. Like he's not there, but he's still like choking her vision or whatever, and that actually chokes her in real life.
I guess he couldn't normally do that. Maybe that's not like within his power, but because she set up that psychic link, he was able to use his power to manipulate it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to like make the story make sense, but I think that's what that is.
I think so, yeah. And here we go. We get another graveyard showdown.
Yes. Welcome back to Warlock.
Yeah, and Hocus Pocus.
Stop it.
It must have been a 90s thing.
Probably.
But
I always said I would go to a graveyard and hang out, man.
Yeah. But this is kind of another fun scene, a little showdown, and we kind of get to see some magic, Rumpelstiltskin gets to like create a zombie, so that's kind of cool. Pops up out of the ground. I like that.
Yeah, the aesthetics are fantastic. I mean, it's better than walking into a Spirit Halloween, but still gives you the same vibes. I think you and I have talked about so many times before, like all the old classic monster movies, of how just like those graveyard setups and just how things are aesthetically pleasing.
Oh yeah, total. It's a really cool vibe here, cool atmosphere with this cemetery. You're kind of wondering, okay, what are they gonna do to defeat Rumpelstiltskin? Because like,
it was weird because Matilda, she gave us some information we didn't know. She said that Rumpelstiltskin had no soul of his own, and that's why he wants to like take Johnny's soul, the little kid.
That's right. So
So it's kind of child's playish, right?
That's right. Yeah, because so he put the baby in this open grave, and he's gonna do like the spell on the baby or whatever. And that's when they kind of come. They roll up. Shelley and Max roll up in the car. And they're looking for him. They're like, how do we know where he's at? And then they figure out where the graveyard is at. And I wish I took better notes because I just have blew him up, bulldozer on fire. I can't remember what the heck happened.
Well, so Matilda also tells them about they have to be able to say like the mystic chant 3 times.
Oh, that's
but
right.
Shelley's the one who figures out, oh, it's his name. Why she didn't tell her it was just the name, I have no idea. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and talk about this. How cool this scene is with Max driving the bulldozer, and it's going through. It's like knocking these tombstones over, and the bulldozer eventually it gets stuck. It's like caught in a rut, and the Rumpelstiltskin,
right.
he's not fast, and so he's kind of like walking away, running away or whatever, but Max ends up throwing that bitch into high gear and gets out of this grave plot and catches up to Rumpelstiltskin, and it picks him up, and he's in the, I don't even know what you call the plow or whatever of this thing. And what was the reason that Rumpelstiltskin's on fire? Do you remember?
Something I don't even remember now.
You don't remember? Okay, well, he's on fire. It looks super freaking cool.
Yeah.
But it's not important of how he caught on fire. It's important of how they try to finish him off. And my dude, if being on fire isn't bad enough, while he's inside the scoop of this thing, Max runs him dead into a pole with power lines on it, and then like a whole bunch of electricity sparks, and it electrocutes Rumpelstiltskin. And it looks pretty gnarly. I can see where a lot of the effects went, because we got some good effects in the beginning, then we got a couple off-screen kills, and I was like, no, don't go this way, and then they made up for it here.
Yeah, and he gets like chopped in half too, right? Rumpelstiltskin
He does, and it looks freaking. And that's because he gets crushed against that pole, and so whenever the camera pans over and shows Rumpelstiltskin crawling, but then it keeps going and it shows it's just half of him, and it looks pretty gooey.
Yeah, yeah. So I definitely appreciate this last scene, and then of course, like I said, they kind of do the little thing, say his name 3 times to turn him back into that little stone.
Oh, you know what it was, by the way? It was the straw that caught on fire. That's how they were able to do it. It was like a hay thing. So, okay,
that's
cool.
right. That's right.
But yeah, man, they said his name 3 times, and to his dismay, he's defeated and turns back into that little green gnome, giving me some serious deja vu to Return to Oz. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. It's great.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've seen that one. It's not necessarily horror, but it'd be one to be fun.
It's
to talk
horror
about
though.
sometimes.
It's enough. Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
And then of course, this wouldn't be the kind of movie that it is if we didn't end on a stinger. And so Andy, we get a couple of really corny lines just to find out that Shelley and Max are going to live happily ever after, that maybe he's not Mr. Asshole no more. But of course, another family is going to find the stone.
Yeah, so Max throws it into the water or whatever, and I guess it's like in the ocean again or something. I don't know. and yeah, this little girl ends up finding it, and she takes it to her mom, which happens to, her mom is pregnant, right, or has the baby.
She has an infant. Yep.
Yeah. So like, okay, here we go. It's like,
and then freeze frame on the stone, and the stone's really cool because we're not making it out to be much. I've called it a gnome a few times. That's because that towards the center of the stone, you see Rumpelstiltskin's face, and it is identical.
Yeah, it's pretty cool looking stone. I mean, it's like kind of like a little statuette kind of looking thing with a green kind of color to it. I thought it looked pretty cool. I'd have that on my fireplace.
Oh, really? Okay. Tell Melissa all about it.
Yeah. But
so,
yeah.
Andy, this was a one-time watch for you so far, and I want to know, like, obviously you liked it enough to review it, but is this something you'd rewatch sometime?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. It's really fun. It's kind of it could be one of those kind of nostalgic '90s movies for me, for sure.
The only bummer thing about it is this thing does not stream easily.
Yeah, I had to rent it on Amazon Prime.
Okay. They didn't give you the option to buy it for $1 cheaper?
No, not this time.
Oh, come on, Mark Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange that this movie doesn't stream on like Tubi and Freevee because it fits all the other movies that do. There must be some rights or something in it, or maybe, closer to Halloween, maybe it will. I don't really know, but I own this. That's how I was able to watch it. I recommend, if anybody likes the kind of 90s movies that you and I gush about, this is one that people need to watch, and maybe I'm saying that because I'm looking to see if anybody besides Andy and myself like this more than Leprechaun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it has its cult following. A lot of these movies like this have it. This almost feels like it could have been something done by Full Moon, you know?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Especially with the Red Shoe Diary scene. Full Moon likes to do that shit all the time. Although I think Full Moon's a little more gratuitous. But
Yeah, so I guess this movie actually had a couple of DVD releases. First in 2001, and then in 2004 by Lionsgate.
yeah, if you can get a hold of the DVD, not the Blu-ray, but the DVD, they're pretty hard to find. They're out of print. You're going to pay a hefty price. I have the VHS. I'm very soon going to get the Laserdisc for it because I want to have that. But I think I said on one of our episodes before in the horror news that they did finally come out with a Blu-ray or 4K restoration, a sweet package deal. But I'm hoping that's going to get more people to discover the movie.
Yeah, I think it will. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more people talking about it once it hits that new advanced format.
And then maybe in hindsight, when they discover the movie, they'll discover our podcast.
There you go. Yeah, that's our grand strategy right there.
Yes, it is. You got anything else you want to talk about, buddy?
No, what about you?
Yeah, I'll just say, one, thanks to all the streamers for listening, and come see us on the socials. You know, we love to interact with you guys. We're getting a lot of comments on TikTok. It's a lot of fun. You know, you and I like to riff on each other, all in good fun, and we use movie clips and say that it's something that the other person is doing and throw in some fun music and everything, and people seem to like it. We get a lot of fun comments, and that just makes me feel good that somebody's paying attention to us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we seem to do pretty good on TikTok.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, but you know, we're on the Facebooks and we're on the Instagrams and all that good stuff, and you know, we're racking up the questions for our Ask Anything episode that we're probably going to be knocking out sometime in May or maybe early June, depending how it goes. But we got some special treats lined up for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Well, that'll wrap up this episode, and until next time, I'm Abnormal Andy.
And I'm Phantom Dark Dave.
And thanks for listening to the Screaming Skull Podcast.